Oh ho ho, hello. Wait, what? Hold on. One sec. Wait, my volume is legitimately low today. I don't know why. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Hold it. Hold on. Hold on. Hello? Testing. 1, 2. Wait, why? Well, why do you think? Well, let's click up here. What do we got? Nope. Nope. And nope. Hello? Wait. What about down here? I don't think this does anything. Nope. Nope. Turn on glitter mode. Everybody said they hated it. This is glitter mode, I think. Did I change something? Last night when we were doing the space? I might have. Was it this? Hold on. Oh, not that. Hello? Testing 1, 2. Does that sound like it was before? I don't understand why I would have changed this. No, wait. That's like... No. Hold on. That's... No, hold on. I am so confused. Okay. This is our microphone channel. Oh, wait. Did something change in Windows? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Oh, yeah. Hold on. It's this. There's got to be some way to make it so that programs can't f with your volume. Like Zoom or Google, like Meets or anything like that. Is there not a way to like never, ever, ever like allow a browser to... It's actually so annoying. Are you doing the focus group today? Yeah. I think I've got 3 people confirmed for it. We can bully anybody else on Twitter that wants to. God, it'd be nice to have Asmongold or XQC. Hold on. We got a Dan. Chrome flags. WebRTC. Allow WebRTC to adjust input volume. No. Disabled. Relaunch. Okay. See if that helps. I DM'd your rage on Twitter. He didn't respond. Oh my God. Michaela would be so good. Okay. I DM'd her. Pokey and Lily, no. I think I'm way too hot for those two right now. Oh, I think I have the Act Man I think will be here too. Okay. What? Oh, Nicholas Diorio, we got him as well. I don't have any way to reach out to Charlie. And I don't know if he would care as much. And it might be too like controversial. I think he's trying to like take a step back from wacky online shit. Do you know the pro-immigration arguments pay more taxes than take out, grow economy, less crime than native borns, apply to all 3 categories, immigrants, undocumented, and refugees, or just legal migrants? I think it tends to apply to all 3, but it's going to be in like dramatically varying differences depending upon, like in terms of immigrants, like people that are immigrating here legally as like high skilled labor people are probably going to be contributing more than like a low skilled immigrant who's immigrating. For illegal or undocumented immigrants, people that are like a 20-year-old healthy male that comes here to work is going to be contributing more than a 22-year-old cartel member who just wants to like, you know, human traffic or do drugs. Or like a 19-year-old woman who might be pregnant, right, is going to be a bigger drain on the system because she's going to have a kid immediately once she gets here and probably not work. For refugees, like different types of refugees, depending upon who it is, it just depends on, yeah. Like all of it is variable to some extent. God, fuck. Okay, firstly, listen, for all of the camera aficionados out there. Actually, wait, give me something to watch for like 5 minutes and we'll chat. Hold on. Who else do I have? Willie Mack, the Act Man, Turkey Tom, Nicholas Diorio. That's who I've got right now. Oh, Muda. I asked Muda, but I don't think he responded. Wait, did I ask Muda? Oh, shit, I didn't. Oh, shit. I forgot. I didn't put this on last night. I asked XQC, but I don't think I don't know if he would care. It's just it's going to be like 2 to 3 hours of. I could try veto. I'll ask veto and put the feeler out for Dick as well. Fuck it. For ABBA, I'm trying to keep it like relatively neutral-ish. Like I don't want to. There's no way that Ethan. I don't think Ethan will do anything with me for a while. We've been talking a lot recently privately because he's been really confused politically. So I've been doing like a combination of like offering him rewards or incentives or doing different things to try to get him to repeat things that I believe on his stream to his audience without him being like cognitively aware of it. A lot of like subliminal stuff, a lot of grooming stuff, a lot of like those kinds of like mentally subversive techniques, I would say. But I haven't gotten him over the hump yet of like actually appearing on stream with me. There's still a little bit of pushback there, so. Is Asman just ghosting you at this point? I wouldn't be surprised if he's actively avoiding your friend requests / DMs because he suspects what's coming. Well, suspects what's coming in what way? Asman's never given me a reason ever to think that he's doing anything like that ever. It could also just be that he just doesn't have as much of an interest in this type of stuff, which is also fine. What is this?
I don't think that's happened. I don't think it's going to happen yet.
What is this?
January 6th? No, I mean, like, January 6th was like it was bad, right? Bad. January 6th bad. But it was nothing like an actual dictatorship, right? I mean, let's be honest. It was nothing like it. You typed this a number of times.
Okay. Oh, wait, shit. I have this muted, sorry.
You'll use extreme... Forgetting January 6th? No, I mean, like, January 6th was like it was bad, right? Bad. January 6th bad. But it was nothing like an actual dictatorship, right? I mean, let's be honest. There's nothing like it. You typed this a number of times. You'll use it.
Okay, based. Okay, I had an idea for the window behind me, not fucking retarded. For the frame monitor thing behind me in the studio to set up another camera to like capture the outside and then just play it on the thing behind me. And it works, actually. It looks so good. It looks so much better than I thought. But the glare inside cucks me so hard. Okay, look. There's that out here. Okay. I have a camera set up down here. Shut up. I had to turn all the lights off. Okay. And, Dan, look. Look at how... look at how cute this looks behind me. It's a little weird because you're seeing it on like my cell phone camera. But like, oh my God, this is so... Look at how adorable this is. You can see all the little boats. Wait. Oh my God, it's so cute. You can see the city lights flickering. Yeah, you can see the waves. Oh my God. The boats, and if anybody comes boating by, like, look at this guy. Is he moving anywhere? I don't know. But we have to build something to block the light because as soon as the studio lights go on, the reflection fucks it. But look at this. How cute that is. Oh my God. It's adorable. But I think I have to put like a box or a curtain or something down here to... Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. I thought I just had my life flash before my eyes. Glad I have 2 computers. My God. What was I gonna say? It looks really nice downstairs with the in the day too, although I have to... Yeah, I wish we had a balcony. If you set up a shot 45 degrees to the screen, there'll be a point where a polarizer cuts out reflections. Okay, I bought a polarizing lens, a CPL, and I bought an ND variable filter lens. Neither of those work. Fuck you and fuck everybody that recommended those, okay? These lenses are magic for cutting out like monitor stuff, but they cut out nothing else. fuck all of you, okay? Fuck you and fuck. I bought 2 different $100 CPL, one CPL and then one CPL Plus ND lens. They're really good at cutting out monitor light. Like if I'm adjusting it and I'm looking like direct, like at a monitor from the side, I can completely eliminate all the monitor light. But in terms of doing like reflections or glares, it just doesn't fucking do anything. But I think the reason why, I mean, I probably should have just read more. I think the reason why is because when the light hits the surface, like even if it's polarized light, well, no, I guess if it is polarized light, it does reflect directly. But I don't think that light hits the surface and does like this. I think that it hits the surface and then it does like this. There's like a whole like disbursement of light here, and the polarizing lens barely cuts out any of it. I tried 2 on the camera and I did it. And it just didn't. Yeah, I was thinking if there was a way. I was at my friend. She brought it up, but the having some kind of like polarizing thing on the window, but I don't know what that would look like or how I would even go about getting that, or what that would even look like. I don't know. What is that even? How do you do that? Did you rotate the polarize? Okay, hold on. Stop typing shit like this. Not trying to get banned, but did you rotate the polarizing filter? I don't ban you for no fucking reason. It's only when you. It would only be like if you typed a message like, I bet this fucking retard didn't even know to rotate the filter. That would get you banned. Jesus, fuck you. Yes, but I did try rotating it around. Like I said, when I'm looking at it, I can get the whole monitor like reflection to disappear from like light that's coming into frame somehow that's highly polarized. I could twist this thing and it'll totally disappear. But like the other light sources, like just light or reflections of chairs or whatever, they don't seem to be impacted like at all. Would people assume that's your actual background with a nice view and not just assume it's a random live stream / wallpaper? Who knows or who cares? Even if they did assume it was random, it still looks nice. I think it looks nice. Docs possibilities. I've already been doxed like a million fucking times. Okay, we're strapped. I got guys with assault rifles at the door. Do your windows open? I thought about opening the windows for all of like 5 seconds, but then I was like, realistically, there's absolutely no chance that I'm doing a podcast in 90-degree humid Miami weather. That's never happening. So. What is this? What even is this?
Hey, I thought I would record this video because I discovered Destiny has a hair regime. And I thought, why not? Why not?
Fix your hair. You want to see my hair routine next?
So we can see that he's got curly hair. So, I mean, like it's clearly fine but curly and it looks like there's a lot of it.
Hold on, let me show you. Hold on, let me help you with this.
I try to figure out where he can, like what he can do in his room, near his computer.
All right. Usually we'll do a little bit of this one.
Okay.
Comb it.
Combing it.
Okay, nice and.
What is that comb? Like, it looks like it's
There we go. Okay, comb
got
it.
a lot of bristles. Is it wax pop?
Yeah.
Wait, does Destiny have brand combs?
All this. All right. Yep. Okay. Yep.
That looks like it would be good for teasing, which is not good for his hair.
out.
He should be using wide
Like
tube.
that. Just give it a little that. There we go. It's my hair for that. That's how we do. Okay.
Wait. I have some things to say about this. So Destiny should be using a wide tube comb for his hair because his hair is curly and curly hair is more fragile while it's dry. He should not be brushing it while it's dry either, technically speaking, because he should be brushing it while it's wet because hair is more fragile while it's dry when it is curly hair. And you can use something like a lubricant like conditioner or something like that to protect the hair from snapping. His hair's short, but I kind of think this was funny for coming from somebody who does hair all day, brushing forward and then smushing it up like.
Okay. Number one, if you do hair all day, you're dealing with people with bad hair, with weak hair, people that damage their hair with heat, okay? And they probably spend time in the sun. My hair is strong and masculine. My hair never breaks, okay? So even though I did buy a wide tooth comb, because it's better to comb my hair with a wide tooth comb, I might use the smaller one every now and then just because I want to show how strong my hair is and to keep it on its, on its toes. I want it to be strong, to be able to resist the small bristles, all right? So number one, fuck you. Number two, fuck you. I don't even know what else she said. I don't care. It was wrong. Oh, I do use conditioner. I use lots of conditioner, so my hair is super strong. It's got so many vitamins in it. It would, if you ate my hair, okay, it would be like a multivitamin. That's how healthy and strong and reinforced my hair is, okay? How often do you shampoo? Once a week, every time I shower. I shampoo and condition my hair every time I shower. I usually shower once a day or once every other day. This is the comb I ended up buying. Highly recommended. This is an advanced user, $9.99 comb. Handmade by Kent. Wow. I thought about that void share, just recording a bunch of B-roll basically for that camera and then showing that in the background. But the only issue is, one thing that I think would be really, really, really cute is having the camera in the background be live, because if it was raining in Dan's background, it'd be raining behind me. It'd be matched. How cute would that be? You really need a wider toothed one? For what? How many? What do you want me to use my fingers? What about putting your camera in your apartment and streaming to the other PC? I don't know if it's possible or not. I don't know if that camera could run for 4 hours in the Miami heat. I feel like it would overheat. Why does it feel like your mustache hair has been thinned or has been cut down? Listen, I went to trim all my facial hair yesterday, and sometimes my trimmer, when you set the setting or when you put the head on the trimmer, I don't know how to explain it, but it misses the catch and it goes all the way in. So then when I go to trim it, I look at it and I go, oh shit, I just cut all my fucking hair off. So now I have to cut all of it down and it's fucked, okay? You know what? Actually, hold on. Let me find this brand so I can not recommend it to you. So I can unrecommend this. It's not a $20 trimmer. It's an expensive one. It's like a $60 trimmer, okay? Wow, they don't even sell it anymore. And it's Braun. I thought I saw these in commercials. If there's like a god tier trimmer to buy, just tell me. Tell me what to throw money at. I'll buy it. I shop like a rich person now. If there's like something that's $50 and something that's $150, I just buy the $150 thing because I assume it's better because it's more expensive. Okay, that's how I shop now. So if there's a better trimmer, yeah, this happened 3 times to me. When you go to put on this guard right here up top, sometimes it doesn't catch on the rail on the side, and you think you're popping it in, but in reality, you're pushing it all the way down. So then when you set the blade height or the guard height, it's not setting anything. And then I go to shave it, it just cuts it all off. Philips Norelco Series 9000. Yeah, is this what I should be buying? Lithium ion? Oh, holy shit. Oh, shit. What? Is there a nutsack trimmer? I am always going to maintain that shaving your balls is the easiest thing in the world. I cannot believe that people have trouble with this. I don't believe it. Okay. Is this the one? Phillips trimmer. Oh no, why is Brianna bullying people on Twitter? Jesus. Please Google wide tooth comb. You will fuck your hair with the other one. Bro, I'm 35 years old. I think if I was going to fuck my hair, I think I would have done it by now. What is a wide tooth comb? Wait, do you think Tech Doan would want to do this? Bro, this is an ultra wide tooth comb.
I mean,
this?
Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ. Just wondering if you dislike Destiny and not wanting to engage them anymore. No, that's not the case whatsoever. Yeah, for real, I do really want to go on Destiny's podcast. Just things have gotten a little bit rough in my personal life. You know, I'm having some pretty big health issues. My big hurdle, right? I'll be real. Here's my biggest issue with Destiny. It's the fact that he lives in Florida, and then that's going to make me go to Florida. And I'll be real, Florida is a cesspool, and it's fucking gross, right? So I have to, like, mentally prepare myself to actually go to fucking Florida if I want to do the podcast. It's kind of like a lot to fucking handle. But no, for real. Like, I am someone who, I'm not opposed to talking to anyone. I don't really believe in people saying this person's controversial, this person's controversial. I really don't fucking care. I like having a conversation with anybody. I think he's a very compelling creator.
Wait, what is this guy? What has he said or done that makes people think he hates me or that we hate him? I feel like we've been pretty friendly now.
And whether you like him or don't like him, I feel like the things that he says gets people talking, whether it's good or bad, who knows. But yeah, if he wants to continue saying, I support people who attempt to assassinate the president, I mean, that's his own prerogative. At least it's fucking interesting. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather somebody say some crazy shit than say nothing at all. So I really don't give a fuck. Yeah, I just like when people say things that get people talking. And yeah, whatever you think of me, definitely gets people talking. But yeah, that's my whole opinion. Hopefully that makes sense. This feels like a poor answer. No, that's a full in-depth answer. Poor answer would be, he's really nice. Yep. He's really, really, really nice. All right, cool. Let's watch Sparking Hill.
Peggy 12.
Isn't Destiny a woman's name? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Never mind. Fuck this guy. Fuck this balding loser. Fuck. He shit talked you here.
I really like getting to know how people like work. I love getting to know how people. I really don't think like Destiny's, for example, is a person who doesn't hear what the other person's saying. They're waiting to talk. I very much immerse myself when my friends are talking 1,000,000%. But the one that I just thought of that I think is the best one. I had a couple options. I really think that America completely relies on its foundation. I think the foundation starts with schooling. I 1,000,000% agree with paying teachers more, 100% because you get what you pay for. But I also think that the way that school systems operate in today's day and age is they overload children with knowledge that they don't need to understand, like the exact date of World War II. And
I feel like when I feel like people understand this, and if they don't, it's because there's social stuff that's inhibiting them, because I think we all intuitively get this. The way that I rate people's statements like varies dramatically based on the context of the conversation and like who the person is. Like if I heard like a Lex Friedman say something like this, I think I would be really, really, really irritated. I would actually be incredibly fucking irritated. But for somebody that I've like never engaged with seriously, for somebody that I've never had like deep political conversations with, who isn't like a huge participant in the political space or whatever, I don't think like hearing statements like this are not. I don't know. Sometimes I can't tell if you guys get too offended or if I should get more offended, or I don't think it's that big of a deal. I can understand why I would have that perception to coming off to some people, especially if I've only seen clips of me. But like Tectone is like my understanding is just kind of like a video game streamer. That's not like in a derogatory way, but he streams video games. He's got a community, does that. I wouldn't expect him to have like a ultra more nuanced take on anything. And I wouldn't even consider this like severe shit talking or anything like that. I'm not sure. Same thing with the same thing like with the XQC and Wait, what? Same thing with XQC and like the Donald Trump stuff. That's not about me, but like, I don't think XQC should be promoting Donald Trump. I don't think it's good, but he's not like he's not a big political commentary guy, so I don't care as much. I mean, he should. I think it's still bad, but I just don't care as much. Wait, what is this? Have you seen JJ McCullough's video on rote memorization? God damn, he looks so good for 40. Also, do you think JJ could be a little bit, tiny bit related to Wicked Supreme? A little itty bitty tiny bit? Or maybe it's just because they're both like 7 feet tall. Have you ever shaved your asshole? No. I think you need hair in frictiony places to keep them not frictioning against each other, generally.
Hello friends, my name is JJ, and when people ask me what I do for a living, I say I make YouTube videos. And when they ask what kind of videos I make, I usually just say educational. And if I'm forced to drill down even deeper, I say I make videos about cultural knowledge. Which is to say, I make videos that seek to impart facts about particular topics that I feel are important to know.
Wait, just real quick. Okay, we're doing this one. This is the buy. Does this have this doesn't have a nose hair trimmer built in? That's important, especially when you get older, okay? Those nose hairs, they grow. They grow fast. Do you ever check reviews for stuff on Amazon? No, I'm pretty sure that's like all worthless now. I don't think any of those reviews mean or do anything because they're all botted and fucked. Can't trust like anything you see on the internet now. It's kind of fucked. It's kind of sad. Get an Andes or something actually used in a black barber shop. Okay, well, if the blacks are using it. Bro, this shit looks like a fucking spaceship. What's the secret to ball shaving? Do you use scissors? You just pull the skin taut and you just run a razor over it. It's like uncuttable. I don't think you could cut your balls. That's like really thick, powerful skin too. We should really recognize Mike Pence as being an American hero. Despite people like Ben Shapiro claiming the guardrails held up, it's clear that if Pence followed Trump, we would have been screwed, but we are lucky our SPOF stood up for America. What is SPOF? Something president of fiends, super person of fealty. Oh, single point of failure. There you go. Ball shaving is easiest when the hairs start to grow back. They get all itchy. I feel like that happens on your pubis. I don't think that... Maybe my balls are just special. Maybe I just have special balls. Oh, this doesn't even have a guard. It's just... This is just for trimming. Do you use a razor or a machine? Use a razor. I can't imagine having some fucking... Having like a trimmer gobbling up your ball sack sounds like a horror. That sounds like a horror movie. Damn, you know it's serious when it doesn't even have a battery. Why so black better have better hair than every other race? What is that sentence? Why so black better have better hair than every other race? What do we think he's trying to say, guys? Why do black people have better hair than every other race? There you go. I don't think they do. I think you probably have the illusion of them having better hair because if I had to guess, curly, what do you call it? Hard, fuck. Like, there's a name for the type of hair, coarse. Like curly, coarse hair probably maintains a pretty consistent appearance regardless. And if that's like the average type of hair that a darker head would have, then it's going to look decent throughout their whole life, right? As opposed to like thicker hair, longer hair, softer hair is going to lose its luster as you get older. I mean, black people get white hair more later than other races. Oh, I don't know anything about that. Maybe into like melanin or something, maybe? No, melanin, right? Maybe it has something to do with that. I have no idea. Who knows? Okay, I'm just buying the one. We're getting the Phillips. Is this really better than what I have now? I feel like every time I buy a new trimmer, it's just like the same shit as the last one. No, this is dumb. I'm not buying this. Never mind. It's better? Okay, I am buying it, fucker. You got me. You sold me on it. That last, it's better? You got me. Okay, add to cart. All right. When are you buying a car? You know, I'm probably just never buying a car. I think I've had two serious cars for my whole life. My Volkswagen GTI and then my current Focus RS. There were two other cars I had before that were just horrible shitmobiles. That Saturn that I had, I don't even know what the model was. And then that Dodge Neon, the 95 Dodge Neon. What was that Saturn that I had? God, what was that car? What was the model? My dad co-signed that loan for me. I think it was a $4,000 auto loan at like 24% interest. That's how bad my parents' credit was. Holy shit. Was it an Ion? Wait, Saturn SL2. This would have been like a 2000. No, it had like a coolish look. But it was just a shit car. Fuck, I'm never gonna be able. Were you talking about getting a new car like 6 months ago? Yeah, every year or several months, I think about, because it'd be cool to have a new car. But then every time I try to find one, I just like get mind fucked on it. The last two I looked at were, it was that, it was the Porsche 911, 912. The fuck was this? I don't know why they have all these different numbers. No, not this. Wait, fuck, what was it? Was it a new 911? It was something like this. And it looked awesome. And I think it's probably like, I think it is like the car. If you want to have like a sick fucking driving car that just feels fucking amazing and it's just built for fucking tearing up the road. But then I drive back to my Miami apartment and there's like 7 of these in the garage. And I'm like, do I want to be that guy? Do I want to be the 8th 911 in this garage? And then there's this other car, and this is like built for me. It's obnoxiously blue. It is significantly better than my current car. It's super unique and rare, but then that also means that like the maintenance is fucking annoying. Like the dealership and all that is like I would have to, yeah, it's just. And then also it's significantly worse performing, right? That 911, this Porsche is like, the ones that I was looking at were like $240,000. This car is like, I think $95,000. So it's significantly like removed in price class. And then, you know what, just fuck it. So now I just, you know what, I have my Focus. I like my Focus. Fuck it. How often do you even drive? Well, I gotta go pick up my prescription every month at least. I also still don't know if mentally I can handle driving like a $250,000 car. Like the idea of it getting totaled, I think it would fuck with me a lot. Speaking of losing $250,000, how are our investments going? I don't know. I could do it. I'll figure it out someday. But I think actually that question in chat, I think it's actually true. I just don't think I drive enough right now to care that much because I spend so much time at home. I fly to all my events. I don't really do much like touring or like distance driving or anything. I don't even drive around locally that much. And when I do, it's not that fun because the roads are all, you gotta like be careful not to, even on my RS, like whatever the rubber part underneath my car is like still drags sometimes, which every time it happens, it makes me cringe so fucking hard. Oh, damn, we got more money today. Wait, what's going on? Are we coming back? CrowdStrike is coming back. Oh, my NVIDIA is up a lot today. Damn. We're in the green on NVIDIA again. Good job. Get a cheap motorcycle. I don't think I could ever buy a motorcycle because I feel like it's too much in the vein of like, I'll die. In a car, you can like survive accidents, but I don't know how I feel about the bike. A little bit nervous about that one. Did you sell your Bud Light stock? Yeah, a long time ago. I think I did okay on that. Isn't it crazy that the right thinks Elon is so intelligent, yet yesterday he says government spending is what caused inflation, completely ignoring the cyclical nature of inflation? Well, government spending probably did push inflation up a bit. It's hard to know how much you can attribute to that versus like the supply chain crunch versus the changing of the economy because of all the different moving around of the different jobs in different sectors. Like it's hard to know how much to attribute to one particular thing. But government spending probably pushed up inflation a bit, right? I think most people would say that. Invite them to the focus group.
They'll probably try to fuck you if you're some like soy boy.
Ghost Crusaders, Destiny keeps bringing up that Trump's guilty of insurrection, yet no one brings up to him that Jack Smith didn't charge Trump with insurrection. Good point, Ghost.
Nobody was charged with insurrection.
Because it wasn't even an insurrection.
Destiny clearly has Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's what happens when you let meth rot your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know he did meth until today.
I did it one time on accident. That's
Have you
not
ever
related
heard
to
him
ever again. Have you ever heard the man talk before?
I didn't know that
Oh
was
yeah, his jaw. He does his weird thing.
properties.
He's actually on meth for real. That's horrible. Aw, we ain't messing around.
True. There are some theories of macroecon that say the deficit spending is the major contributor to inflation as opposed to the quantity theory of money, the growth of M2 or whatever. I don't know. I imagine deficit spending to some extent must, because you're adding more. Aren't you necessarily adding more money to the money supply by deficit spending? The government is spending more than it's taking in, and if the government is a huge purchaser of goods and services, I imagine it's more money flowing through the economy, right? That'd be my guess. Porsches are amazing in terms of maintenance. You can just get a different Porsche, like a 992 or GT3 or GT4, maybe. The platform Trump was espousing isn't even internally consistent. We're going to lower inflation, also slash rates. People about, yeah, we've talked about that. It seems like after 2008, it's clear that deficit spending helped the U.S. recover faster than the austerity policies in Europe. They never really recovered from 2008. Yeah, but it seems like we had a lot of trouble. I feel like we had a lot of trouble raising interest rates. I don't know why. What did they get past 3.5% under Trump? No, hold on. We should be using St. Louis Fred. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Just real quick. We use this website a lot. What is the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis? What does that mean? Like, it says federal, so I'm assuming it's the country, like the federal government, but it's of St. Louis. What is this? I know we use these people for data all the time. What the fuck is this? I guess I could just read this. Is one of 12 regional reserve banks that, along with the Board of Governors in D.C., make up the United States Central Bank. Missouri is the only state to have two main Federal Reserve banks. Kansas City also has a bank. Oh. Yeah, I guess this makes sense. When you talk about the Central Bank of the United States or the Federal Reserve of the United States, it's not just one bank like in D.C. or something. I guess it's spread out across a few. I guess that makes sense. Okay. Are we looking for, is it federal funds rate? Is that what we're usually talking about when we talk about interest rate? One day we're going to do macro econ, okay? We will. We will do this. Oh, we didn't even get to 3.5. Like, I feel like at this point right here, Dave for moderates. Thanks for the 5 gifted subs. We on the 10-year time span? 10-year unemployment. Can I? Oh. No? Oh, we're just not going to type anything? Unemployment. I don't understand what's happening here. So we hit 5% unemployment, 2015. We're still under Obama. Unemployment is down, less than 4%. Why are the rates not coming up more aggressively here? I don't understand this. What other indicator is the Federal Reserve looking at? I know that the markets are hot. I guess I'm not looking at GDP growth, huh? I guess you would probably look at that too. No, I don't think Federal Reserve is supposed to be, I think it's just they're looking at, it's inflation and unemployment, right? Oh, actually, I think inflation might have been really, really low too. No. Yes, and that's why they weren't cutting? Rates can take 18 months to feed into markets. Is that actually true? When the Fed is quoting inflation or year-over-year inflation or whatever, what exactly, what figure are they quoting? What does Federal Reserve quote when they talk about inflation? Core PCE index. Okay, this is the number that they're always trying to keep under 2%, right? Okay, so then this would be why they didn't why they're not bumping rates more is because inflation was still low. They didn't feel any pressure to bring it up more. I know it's not the best snapshot of the economy. I shouldn't even say it's a snapshot. But I remember the last 4 years under Trump, the markets wasn't it like 20% year over year? It was like insanely hot growth, I think. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Let me check. When does Trump come into office? Like 2017? We'll say 2017 to 2021? Or we'll say 2017 to 2020? November? No, January. Hold on. Where are we at? 64% growth in 3 years. No, that's 4 years. Even if it's 4 years, that's, what is that, 16% per year? Wait, it's 2017 to 2021. That'd be 4 years, right? 18 to 2019 to 2020 to 2020. Yes. They're bumping rates a lot more aggressively now. Because now it's at over 5.25. But inflation is also much higher now too, right? I think if unemployment is low and inflation is on target and there are no other indicators suggesting total financial collapse, then I don't think the Fed justifies any precautionary action. So yeah, that's what I'm probably thinking, because I don't think the Fed's goal would never be to like cool off the economy, right? The Fed's goal is never to slow down growth. They're only looking at probably inflation and unemployment, I think, are the two that they keep tabs on, right? What about do people ever worry about this is going to be retarded econ takes. Do people ever worry about inflation hiding somewhere, that like money could get tied up in a place and you can't really observe the inflation yet, but then it comes out later? Does that make a sense? I'm saying this in the most babby way possible. Because I heard that being brought up, that inflation, that like a lot of money could have been stored away in houses or some dumb shit, but that would inflate the price of housing too, which I think would impact the, I don't know if the PCE takes into account housing price. I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay. Here, watch this real quick while I do emails and shit. I've got like 10.
Stuff about, like say the history of candy, the rulers of the Philippines, or Canadian language policy. In an earlier video, I think I mentioned that I have been quite influenced by the theories of a guy named E.D. Hirsch. He is a big proponent of the idea that fact-based knowledge about cultural topics is what helps us communicate with one another, with communication being what builds a functional civilization.
Raising interest rates are intended to slow economic growth. Yeah, but they don't target economic growth. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I read this at one point or if I'm just like fucking making this up. I'm pretty sure the Fed is only concerned with two numbers. I'm pretty sure it's just unemployment and inflation. I think those are the two things that the Federal Reserve is supposed to fixate on. I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that, or link me something.
Hirsch views himself as a bit of a contrarian in the educational space, however, because in his opinion, fact-based cultural knowledge is exactly what America's schools have largely stopped teaching these days. A curriculum that is seen as being based too heavily around learning a bunch of supposedly important people and places and names and dates and books and theories and rules is now seen as old-fashioned, arrogant, and possibly even prejudiced in the sense of ranking the importance of certain facts over others, like say European history over African history. Instead, the priority in today's schools is teaching kids general skills that will help them consume and process information in various practical ways that will serve them well in life. Skills like reading and writing and critical thinking and comprehension and creativity and problem solving and self-directed learning and teamwork. The idea would be that teaching a specific subject tends to be less important than teaching these sorts of skills, which are more universally applicable. And this is why, in a lot of American schools these days, kids have a lot more freedom than they used to in terms of choosing what books they want to read, or what they want to write essays about, or what the topic of their big social studies project will be. Obviously, classes are still organized based on subject, but the subjects taught within those subjects has never been more up for debate. Anyway, the other day I was reading E.D. Hirsch's most recent book, How to Educate a Citizen: The Power of Shared Knowledge to Unify a Nation. And in it, he at one point makes a rather provocative argument. He says that he doesn't believe that general skills exist at all. And I was intrigued because I am a bit of a contrarian myself, and I'm always attracted to arguments that seem to push back against things that everybody knows, but few stop to question. And after hearing him make his case and reflecting a bit on the matter myself, I think I'm actually coming around to his argument that general skills don't in fact exist, and that the effort we spend trying to teach them would be better directed towards teaching more specific forms of fact-based knowledge. Because, and this is the big insight, specific fact-based knowledge is what actually enables us to do the things that learning general skills is supposed to.
The now rapidly growing scientific consensus is that the parts of the mind devoted to language mastery, general competence, and higher order thinking are not governed by natural development or general processing skills, but by the explicit and coherent teaching of lots of factual knowledge, by those mere facts that are so often scorned by those who instruct our teachers.
So let me just walk you through some of the arguments about this, and you can tell me what your opinion of it all is, where you fall in the fact-based knowledge versus general skills divide. So the most popular priority of the general skills people is the teaching of critical thinking skills. A critical thinker, in this sense, is someone who has been taught to understand the importance of skills like asking questions, expressing skepticism, analyzing the credibility of evidence, and so forth. We supposedly need to learn how to do this in order to reach informed conclusions about the stuff we encounter in the world. I remember in my own grade school education, way back when, there was a lot of emphasis on stuff like learning how to read the news critically, or watch TV critically, or read a book critically. And to do this, we would be taught to go through checklists of various questions, like, what is the author trying to say? Or is this source reliable? Or what's the agenda here? And so on. The argument against this approach, however, is simply that this sort of critical analysis is extremely difficult or even dangerous in the absence of a well-built foundation of pre-existing knowledge about the topic at hand. So take me, for example. I am very fluent in Canadian politics. I know a lot about Canadian political history, the identities of all the big Canadian politicians and political parties, how decision-making political institutions like the Parliament or Supreme Court work, and the debates that tend to loom the largest in Canadian political discourse. So if you give me—
Wait, is this a Photoshop or is this a real outfit that they wear?
Political parties, how decision-making political institutions like the Parliament or Supreme Court work.
Was it for Christmas or does he normally wear this?
And the debates that tend to loom the largest in Canadian political discourse.
Okay.
So if you give me a random piece of content that is about Canadian politics in some way, like a newspaper column or a YouTube video or a meme or something, I feel pretty confident saying that I would be able to use my critical thinking skills to evaluate it in various ways. You know, conclude if it is honest or deceptive, or helpful or harmful, or fair and objective, or shallow partisan propaganda, or whatever. But if you were to give me some newspaper columns or YouTube videos or memes about the politics of Nepal, I would have a very hard time using any sort of critical thinking skills to evaluate what I was seeing. I know very little about Nepalese political history or politicians or institutions or issues, and thus I lack any foundational knowledge to power my critical analysis. If I was reading a Nepalese newspaper column, assuming it was translated into English, I could maybe discern some vague things about its objectivity from the tone of the writing or something, but I would lack all sorts of important background knowledge about stuff like who is the author, is this paper known to have a specific agenda, does it enjoy broad public trust, or is it an infamously sensationalistic tabloid, and so on. Likewise, if I was trying to critically evaluate a speech from a Nepalese politician, it would probably be really challenging because I probably wouldn't get all of the references that he might be making to various episodes of Nepalese history or other Nepalese politicians, or the nature of various debates and arguments that are going on in the Nepalese parliament or whatever. If I did find myself in this kind of position, I think the most natural instinct would be to be too humbled by my own ignorance to do much critical thinking one way or another. At worst, my lack of factual knowledge would just make it a lot easier for me to fall victim to propaganda or deception or just wrong information simply because I have no context to judge the information that I'm consuming. There is a famous quote about this from the author Michael Crichton, in which he talks about what a common experience it is to bounce back and forth between states of confidence and ignorance based entirely on our amount of pre-existing knowledge of different subjects.
You open the newspaper to an article on some subject you know well. In mine, it's show business. You read the article and you see the journalist has absolutely no understanding of either the facts or the issues. Often the article is so wrong.
Oh, this is that one thing we talk about sometime. This Gelman amnesia thing. I don't know why it's not going to affect.
Actually presents the story backward, reversing cause and effect. In any case, you read with exasperation or amusement multiple errors in a story, and then turn the page to national or international affairs and read as if the rest of the paper was somehow more accurate about Palestine than the baloney you just read. You turn the page and you forgot what you know.
Now, that said, obviously, some people don't react quite so credulously when confronted with content about a topic about which they possess no pre-existing knowledge. Sometimes ignorance does not stop people from being critical thinkers, but they become critical thinkers in wild and irresponsible ways, using their imaginations or snippets of half-remembered facts to form unjustifiably strong opinions about topics they really know nothing about. I feel like we saw a lot of this during COVID. The pandemic really exposed just how little knowledge most of us have about things like infectious diseases or vaccines or the healthcare system more broadly. And while some people responded to their own ignorance by just passively following the instructions of health authorities, others clearly felt quite intimidated by their ignorance and reacted by spouting all sorts of barely informed opinions about global conspiracies and microchips and all that. In very short order, the phrase, "I've done my own research," became a COVID-era punchline, despite the fact that, in theory, self-directed research is one of the critical thinking skills that the American education system highly encourages. But, as I think we've seen, self-directed research in the absence of any sort of stable base of background knowledge is simply an invitation to spread ignorance, not fight it. Especially when the researcher in question has an inflated sense of their own competence as a skeptic and free thinker. Another thing I observed a lot during COVID, or even the last few years of politics more generally, was people getting shocked and offended that their otherwise intelligent friends and family members were falling victim to this or that conspiracy theory or...
I feel like this is something that I brought up a lot for really well-educated people. So people like Elon Musk or people like Jordan Peterson. But I've been increasingly applying it to ordinary people as well. Something that I think is really important, I think I would classify this under critical thinking. And when we talk about critical thinking, we talk about observing our thoughts, right? And looking at our thought patterns and our thought processes and making sure that they're sculpted in such a way that we are reliably arriving at areas where our convictions match our level of understanding, okay? I think it's important to understand what you know, and I think it's important to understand the limits of your knowledge and then to start hedging appropriately as you get past those. I think that if you can do that, I feel like that's one of the most important, like, general knowledge skills you can have. I'm curious because I feel like he's about to go into a bunch of, it feels like he's criticizing people's lack of foundational knowledge as being the reason why they're unable to do these types of, like, do your own research things. But I don't think it's lack of foundational knowledge. I think it's the lack of understanding of the lack of foundational knowledge. I think this is the issue, but I don't know, okay.
Friends and family members were falling victim to this or that conspiracy theory or this or that dumb political opinion more broadly. When people get shocked in this way, they are presuming that there exists some characteristic of general intelligence out there, that there is some bundle of skills that smart people possess that should make them smart about everything, or at least most things. But people who view intelligence as something more fact-based would be less surprised by this. Knowledge-centric education theory says that there is in fact zero reason to presume that, say, a successful lawyer would necessarily have coherent opinions about, say, climate change. And this is because the theory posits that the only way for a person to know about climate change would be to acquire a lot of fact-based knowledge about weather patterns and global temperature trends and what carbon dioxide is and so on. And there is no inherent reason to presume that even the smartest lawyer in the world has done that.
Isn't that kind of his point? If you don't understand the foundational knowledge, that's the same as not having the factual knowledge. No? Or are you saying there's an intellectual deficit on the person? I'm just saying that you should... I call it like epistemic humility. When I was debating Tom, I think this is a really good example of this. When I was arguing with Tom Foolery said something. He said, I don't see why, if we have a definition for federal insurrection, I don't see why that couldn't just apply to states, right? That would be, in my mind, an example of not having, of epistemic arrogance, right? Well, these two things seem similar enough. Why wouldn't one just apply to the other, right? Whereas from another perspective, at least somebody that's read a lot of the federal insurrection stuff, like I could see like, okay, well, I agree on its face that it seems like it could translate from one to the other, but there are a lot of other things that could be working under the hood here that I'm not aware of. So if I were to say that like, yeah, my federal insurrection take, I'm like 95% confident in that. To apply that to a state insurrection take, I could probably do that, but I'd be like 15% confident in that. One, because I haven't even done the research on the state level. And then two, because state and federal things are so much different. It's like every state has its own legal code. Different states might handle things in different ways. There's a whole plethora of reasons why it could be different, right? There's an epistemic humility there that I'm trying to exercise. People like Peterson and Musk don't exercise this. I don't know why. So J.J. McCullough is right in that just because somebody's smart in one area doesn't mean that they'll be wise in other areas. Some people are just really good at, I don't know how to explain it. Some people are just so good at working through new problems and hedging and having an appropriate level of conviction. I've said this before, the best person I think I've ever met in my life who can do this was Byron. He was so good at when you gave him a new problem, he would just start chewing through it and asking like smart, relevant questions in terms of like how to work through a particular problem. He's really, really, really good at that. I don't know, that kind of like general intelligence, I'm not sure. Or just good epistemic like commitment to like work through things in good practice, maybe? I'm not sure.
Reason to presume that even the smartest lawyer in the world has done that. During the 2016 presidential election, I was a bit taken aback at the campaign of Ben Carson, who I frankly thought...
Fuck you, he's stealing my example.
...had a lot of pretty dopey and even somewhat childishly simplistic political ideas. I think Trump even called him Sleepy Ben or something because of how head in the clouds he often seemed. Which was odd because Ben Carson is one of the most accomplished brain surgeons in the world, a job that is literally synonymous with genius. But then I read some
Fuck. Again, I'm sorry, this will always blow my mind. This video was released 1 year ago? I don't care. I had this idea 2 years ago.
Potential GOP presidential campaign.
One issue, same-sex marriage. You have equal protection. It's working its way through the courts. The decisions are getting more and more uniform. But then you have people of faith who say marriage is ours. God says it is a man and a woman. The Bible says, my faith says, which one wins with Dr. Carson?
Here's what I would do. I would do what the Constitution says. Constitution says civil issues of that nature should be determined at the state level. Why does it say that?
That is not true. Oh my God. Civil issues of that nature. Well, hold on. Wait, how did gay marriage happen? My guess now, without having read the gay marriage case, was this a 14th Amendment equal protections thing? Seems like it would be equal protection. It seems like it would be very obviously equal protections. You're extending benefits to people in a statutory or at least regulatory manner for straight couples. 14th Amendment, I feel like would obviously say equal protections would obviously say you would have to extend these same benefits to gay people. That'd be my guess. But I haven't read through that case. But remember that when you say, just as a quick thing, when you say the Constitution, okay. Sometimes when I hear people talk, it sounds like people are saying this. This is going to sound very nuanced, but it's not. It's important, okay? Or it's going to sound pedantic, but it's not. Sometimes people talk about like the Constitution, and then they'll talk about like amendments, and then they'll talk about like the three branches of government, okay? These two things are one and the same. If something is in an amendment, it is now in the Constitution. An amendment is not a bill. It's not a plus. It's not an add-on or whatever. It's an amendment. You're amending. You're changing the original document. The Constitution is the amendment. Every amendment is the Constitution. Don't ever forget that, okay? Just as a heads up. All right.
Issues of that nature should be determined at the state level. Why does it say that? Because the judicial system at the state level has to answer to the people.
What if people of a state vote for
state level? The Constitution says civil issues of that nature should be determined at the state level. Why does it say that? Because the judicial system at the state level has to answer to the people.
What if people of a state vote for a law?
The federal courts have to answer to the people, kind of. I don't know what he's saying here.
The state level has to answer to the people.
What if
I don't know what that
people
means.
of a state vote for a law 100-0 that winds up infringing on the rights of a minority, like happened very often with slavery, like many would argue is happening now with people who are gay?
Then it would be equal. It would be equal protections, right, and due process, right?
And our Constitution was followed, and we corrected those things.
And isn't that what's happening right now?
Yes, that is correct. Good job. I always forget which Cuomo this is. Is this Chris or is this his brother?
Same-sex marriage is being corrected as a form of violation of equal protection.
No.
Oh, good job.
You can't just say because it happened that way this time, this is the same situation. It's not the same situation.
Why not?
Because people have no control.
Hold on, wait for this.
Over
What?
their
Wait for
race,
this.
for instance.
Wait,
You think
hold
they have
on.
control over their sexuality?
Absolutely.
You think being gay is a choice?
Absolutely.
Why do you say that?
Because a lot of people who go into prison straight, and when they come out, they're gay. So did something happen while they were in there? Ask yourself that question.
Never go to prison,
Well,
and you know
but
there's a whole theory of dominance.
Wait a minute. I said a lot of people who go in, come out. Are you denying that that's true?
I am
No,
not
you're not.
denying that that's true, but I am denying
but
that that's as a
if,
basis of understanding
in fact,
homosexuality.
If in fact that is the case, then it obviously thwarts what you just said.
A lot of people go into jail as a drug addict and they come out as a criminal.
But
Does that mean that all drug addicts are
Here's
criminals?
what's important. Why do gay people want to get married? Because they want to have various rights.
No, they want
property
commitment.
rights.
That's right.
Visitation rights.
They want their commitment to count just like mine and my wife's.
Why can't any two human beings, I don't care what their sexual orientation is, why can't they have the legal right to do those things?
That's what they're fighting for.
Okay, that does not require changing the definition of marriage.
But it would require covering that union as you do others, which is called marriage in our society.
I don't think so.
Okay, just as a showing like how crazy somebody could be versus how skilled they could be in a certain area, right? In 1987, Ben Carson was the lead neurosurgeon of a 70-member surgical team that separated conjoined twins Patrick and Benjamin Binder, who had been joined at the back of the head. He did like 5 different. He was a neurosurgeon. Okay, he was the university's director of pediatric neurosurgery. All right, specialized in traumatic brain injuries, brain and spinal cord tumors, achondroplastia. I don't know what that is. Neurological and congenital disorder. This guy literally did brain surgery on like 5 different sets of conjoined twins. Okay, he's arguably one of the more gifted like neurosurgeons in the world. How can you say something this fucking retarded?
As a criminal.
But
Does that mean that I never go to prison?
How fucking
There's a
retarded is
whole
this?
Theory of dominance.
Wait a minute. I said a lot of people.
Why do you say that?
Because a lot of people who go into prison straight, and when they come out, they're gay. So did something happen while they were in there? Ask
Sorry, I don't know what's.
Articles by hospital workers who said that no, this is actually a very common surgeon personality type. Expert surgeons possess a lot of fact-based knowledge about a single topic, namely how one very specific part of the body works and how to repair it, and they get a lot of praise for this knowledge because it is obviously very useful in helping save lives and so on. But surgeons apparently often develop quite arrogant and obliviously dopey personalities as well, because they come to believe that their amazing surgical knowledge somehow means that they are intelligent in some broader general sense, which they very often are not, because they've never spent much time learning about anything else. And thus we get the spectacle of Dr. Carson, a man with 0 political experience, assuming he could just waltz into the Oval Office and figure it out as he went along. A similar realm where we can think of the knowledge versus skill debate playing out is athleticism. Is athleticism a general skill, Or do athletes only exist as a product of specific knowledge? Obviously, fitness, in terms of the general health of your body, is a relatively either-or proposition. A doctor can diagnose you as being in good shape or not. But can someone be declared to be a good athlete? Or is that a fantasy on par with being declared to be smart? For example, imagine if you were picking people to be on your soccer team. One of the guys you could choose from was a gold medal winning Olympic sprinter. Would he be a good choice? Some would say, yes, of course, the man is clearly a great athlete. The rebuttal, however, would be no, he would not be a good pick, because the only thing we know he possesses is knowledge in one very specific realm of physical skill. An Olympic sprinter knows how to run very fast, and even though running is part of soccer, the sprinter has trained only to run very fast in one very, very particular context. He hasn't trained to be good at running overall, let alone running in the context that soccer requires running. He might be a better choice than some 300-pound guy who can't run at all, but in the end, only people with knowledge of how to be good at playing soccer have good soccer playing skills. I feel like a lot of the fitness YouTubers are wise to this, which is why they often churn out these hilarious videos where it's like gymnast versus parkour, or hockey player versus figure skater, or runner versus bodybuilder, or whatever, with the conceit being that a lot of these people are less broadly athletic than they seem, and the second you take them out of their preferred sport and into a different one, even one that is quite superficially similar, they can actually be quite awkward and easily humiliated. On a similar note, I read a piece in Vice a while ago called "Your Sculpted Pecs Are Worthless," where they interviewed this really muscular guy who sort of glumly admitted that he kind of hated playing team sports with his friends because he wasn't that good of an athlete.
I never live up to the expectations people have of my body. I'm constantly disappointing people. I'm not as fast as people expect, not as strong, not as anything. I'm basically average. Secretly average.
Wait, I'm so curious what this whole article is. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, if you look good, nobody cares how much weight you can actually bench, or nobody cares like how fast you can actually run. It's not like you're ever actually doing these things in real life. What the fuck?
Which makes perfect sense at some level, because having big muscles doesn't necessarily reflect anything beyond knowing how to build big muscles. Society interprets having big muscles as a signifier of general athleticism, but we could say that this is just because society is captive to a certain mythology of general skills and turns people like buff guys or brain surgeons into idols of that myth. Now, let us be clear about something. It is obviously true that multi-talented people exist. People who are award-winning surgeons and acclaimed opera singers and star basketball players and breathtaking watercolor painters. People who can effortlessly transition from a conversation about 16th century French politics to one about the latest breakthroughs in AIDS research. We've all known people like this in our lives. But the question is, how did these sorts of people get to be that way? And how can we be more like them? While being knowledgeable about one thing doesn't mean you've acquired a general skill set to make you intuitively good at something completely unrelated. If you are a good student, the acquisition of facts in one realm of knowledge can offer logical pathways to acquiring factual knowledge in other realms. Maybe the knowledge you acquired in one realm is required to understand another. If I know about the religious traditions of Iran, for example, I will have a bit of a heads up in understanding the religious traditions of Iraq, because those two countries have significant cultural overlap. If you want to know how to bake a pie, it will help if you know how to bake a cake, because the ingredients are similar. But the key variable is the knowledge itself. Under this understanding, the process of becoming a multi-talented person, or a person with cultural literacy in multiple realms, is about being aware of places in which the knowledge you already possess might give you an in to acquire more knowledge in some other realm. In what way is your current knowledge a building block to something else? It might not be brain surgery to politics, but it could be brain surgery to spine surgery, and politics is like 10 steps after that. Though some people are autodidacts who just independently acquire a bunch of knowledge in unrelated fields, I do think that when you talk to most successful people who possess knowledge in multiple fields, they are able to tell you a story of how their acquisition of knowledge in one field logically progressed into the acquisition of knowledge in another. So, all that said, what does all of this mean in terms of how people and especially young people, should be educated. The argument that so-called core knowledge proponents like E.D. Hirsch make is that rather than attempting to teach generalized skills like critical thinking that supposedly make people intuitively intelligent, professional educators, be they teachers or writers or YouTubers or anyone else who identifies that way, should instead prioritize giving young people a broad diet of fact-based background knowledge on an agreed-upon set of important topics that our culture considers valuable. You could call this the names and dates are good, actually, argument. E.D. Hirsch himself has actually made it his mission to try to compile lists of facts of what people need to know about all of these topics in order to achieve maximum cultural literacy, churning out big books like this one that are basically just encyclopedias of what he and the institute he runs believe to be the base level foundational knowledge you need to read the broadest variety of books or speak to the greatest diversity of people or participate confidently in the important political debates of our time. As the Core Knowledge Foundation puts it, knowledge-based schooling opens doors to enabling knowledge, which in turn opens doors to productive and responsible citizenship. There is a similar series of books written by David Kidder and Noah Oppenheim called the Intellectual Devotional that I am quite fond of as well. They are based on a similar premise of communicating the basic facts that everyone needs to know. Learning that is too self-directed, by contrast, rather than directed by someone else, is said to be dangerous because it enables us to stay cozy in our ignorance. So, for instance, letting a kid read whatever he wants during classroom silent reading time, on the theory that this is helping him improve his generalized reading skills, which is certainly what was done when I was in school, won't actually be very useful. This is because getting good at reading is as much about acquiring the knowledge to understand all of the things that a book's author might make casual reference to as it is about being able to literally read the words on the page. So a kid who chooses to read nothing but Star Wars books isn't actually getting better at reading, since he won't be able to read most books that aren't about Star Wars, because he won't possess the knowledge that those books expect of him. So in essence, our goal should be always forcing kids to acquire unfamiliar knowledge rather than just letting them remain comfortable forever relearning things they already know. It is perfectly understandable why teachers tend to like self-directed learning, of course. We want kids to be engaged and enthusiastic about their education, not intimidated or bored. A here's what you need to know approach can come off as quite imperious and arrogant, and as I said earlier, these days I think a lot of people are justified in asking questions like, well, things I need to know according to whom? But like most things in life, a factual, knowledge-based approach to education doesn't have to be perfect to be worthwhile. It just has to be better than the alternative. So, I am very curious to hear your thoughts about all this, particularly from those of you who are still in school or have only graduated recently. Would you say your schooling was more factual knowledge-based or skills-based? Do you have any good examples of the ways in which either approach was pursued? And of course, which approach do you think is better? Do you think general skills exist and can be taught? Or do you think there is no substitute for mere facts? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week.
Cool.